Hello. So today lecture we talk about bad UI examples. So from last class we talk about the eight golden rules, and also I released a new individual assignment. So it's very necessary to let you guys know, what kind of the UI we consider is bad and how we justify. So at the end of this class, we will tell, I will let you guys to do the in-class activity assignment, just like last week. Okay, so make sure you listen carefully for this um, lecture. So the first example is about the feature they call the delete message feature. So at the first place, a lot of people they will confuse what's delete, message feature. A lot of people confuse is about this delete. So delete is something you're trying to delete from your local or delete the message you just sent and from other side, other end still be deleted. Okay, so at the first place, a lot of people try using this feature. They have no idea what delete feature mean. Okay, because when the designer or the developer they trying to design this feature based on the scenario, like you are drafting a personal message, very personal, and just trying to send to a close friend, and you accidentally send it to someone else, perhaps your coworker or someone you don't know very well. So what's up? They trying to put, promote this feature like delete for everyone. They trying to delete it and pretend like it's never happened. However, a lot of people they confuse with this word delete. At the same time, they are not confident, you know, um, if they delete the message, and on the other hand, the people who receive this, message, whether they still can see or not, right? So you can see this UI right here. You just say they just give you feedback. You delete this message. Okay, you delete this message. That's it. Okay. Um, this give the people, the both people, like sender and the receiver, they have some confusion. First of all, for the sender, they probably will think, um, what deletes mean? It deletes means I delete my local file only, so it won't affect my receiver. Second, they will consider if I delete it, so the receiver will be noticed or will be aware, right? So, however, the receiver have similar problem. They will consider, oh, if this message delivered to me, however, it's disappeared, what happened? And it looks like way more suspicious, and it's likely to promote like a awkward, why did you delete this message type of the response, right? So when you try, I know this is a very good feature, especially based on scenario. People, they sent the wrong message, and at the same time, they lost the control. This is against the one of the eight golden rules, right? So right now, the new delete feature, no matter for what do they call, they have something called um, recall. Okay, recall. So you can delete message from your local. This more makes sense, right? You delete a file, you in your local computer or in your local um phone, the picture, you can delete it. but you won't affect with any of the other phone. At the same time, you have another feature they call the recall. Recall. So recall, that means you call and you still can retrieve. That means it's undo feature. Okay. So a good feature is very important. You need to make sure your target users they understand what that mean and then they can easily to use without confusion, right? Because from my understanding, if I'm trying to delete a message, it's only delete from my end, not other end. If I recall, it should be something I sent, I recall back, right? Um, there's another example. It's a storage management system. So I don't know how many of you has experience like you trying to take a photo. However, you run out of the space. So on iPhone, they have some, the feedback system. They trying to give you more informative feedback. So they will say there's not enough variable storage to take a photo. You can manage your storage in a setting. So at first place, people think, oh, they give you very good like format, say informative feedbacks, right? You run out of the space, you need to go to setting to fix the problem. Okay, so this is also the scenario. So people trying to take a photo, however, you run out of the photos, run out of the space. So, however, there's no indicator what's the user option out there. There should be a clear sense of just how many picture you need to be deleted in order to take a one new photo in that moment. Because once people trying to take a photo, this scenario, you need to imagine you trying to take a photo that is immediately you need to do. For example, you just go out, you trying to take a picture for your family, you know, um, for very good landscape, something like this. You want to do this action on time manners, right? Timely manners. So if you're trying to give the feedbacks, you should be more specific. Please delete three photos, or please, do you want me delete, um, give you a shortcut? Say, this is a shortcut to go to delete the photos. This is something people need. Without this snapshot information, users are less inclined to head to setting to make necessary, editing. So in actually in the Google photo, I don't know how many of you using the Google Photos, they trying to save a lot of the, storage for you automatically, such as you have a lot of screenshot for your phone. They consider this is something probably you don't want immediately. They can automatically save in a one photo folder. They call the utilization, something like this. So when you're trying to provide the different feature, it's very important you need to think about the scenario. So when I talk about delete message feature, I talk about scenario. When I talk about the storage management system, I talk about scenario. So trying to consider the scenarios which you need and make sure people will look, you try to design this feature for these scenarios. Okay. And the scenario should be, you know, realistics and something's not like you faking the scenarios. This scenario never happened or most likely never happened. So this is something you need to know. This is a common scenario, not common scenario. All right. So in our uh, assignments and the examples, I always say this is the format you will see scenarios and the UI design and you try to justify your design, right? Next one. So super long drop down list. So at some point, you know, we see a lot of the, you know, like added layer like of inconvenience if you trying to select the, you know, the a lot like what's your nationality, where you go, you know, something like this. It's so confused and it's not easy to choose, right? So long drop down list without, you know, any subtype heading or filtering. This is a hugely time consuming for the user, especially those who are unsure of what they are looking for. Okay, so this is still happen right now. Most of you guys trying um, to register, you know, some account. They will ask you choose where you're from, what's your nationality. Um, it's so time consuming. So there a better way can do. You can think about it. You know, for example, you provide the people to choose from continent, you know, America, Asia, Europe, something like this. Or you can, based on your user's IP address, okay, to provide the people this most frequently selection. Okay, so I saw some website, if you IP address, you know, consider it's from the United States, they will automatically to default would be United States. Then you can choose. Okay, so this is also give you scenario you can describe like so people trying to so one of the people trying to register accounts from hotel like hotel website and it's very time consuming to find the you know the nationalities of the from the drop down list. They have to scroll down so many times and read through and check and select. It's so confusion and so time consuming, right? So this also you can use in the your individual assignments to help you to do, you know, what kind of scenarios you have and why you designed in this way, right? So this is another example. So we're trying to reset my password, or I trying to create a password for myself. However, you know, there is a long list of requirements to create a password. So people so confusion and it's very time consuming and unnecessary because the user is they trying to do is create a password which they can remember and as long as it's safe it should be fine, but user is unlikely to remember the new million letter, you know, long password. They more likely to write down somewhere or paste it into their note, which will make it more unsafe than require them to create a quick, easy use password that is personal to them. Okay, so I get it. You want your user to create a very strong password, right? But at some point, your password is so complicated and so difficult to remember. You know, eventually people have to, you know, put somewhere. Maybe I know it's very, you know, not right way, like you just write down on the stickers, then you just you know stick on the screen, or you just save it to some like the folder. Um, but it's not safe, right? So there's any other way we can do to prevent the user, to do these things. So, um, so one of the ways people do right now, if you still remember, some other ways could be if you register um, one account. You don't need to memorize a lot for that password. Only thing you need to do is as long as you can access your, email, they will send a link to your email. As long as you open that link, you just sign in. Okay. This is also a good way for you to do because you probably only one mess the password you need to memorize is your email address, the email password, right? So you can think about this in some other way you can consider. Okay. Um, this is something, people trying to do. They trying to create the hierarchy things. If there's no hierarchy, you need to make sure you can tell the difference between the primary and the secondary. This is part of the things very important for you guys to understand. Because when you're using a website or app, there's a lot of the actions user can perform. And the user is have to know which action could be like primary action. It's very, critical and crucial to emphasize the primary actions visually because all the navigation occurs through the button. You must make it easy for the user to identify, primary key by making them bold, outstanding, and the secondary, action should stand out less, but still be visible for the user to search for them. Okay, so different visual weight should be used for primary and the secondary button. And the button with most visual weight will be the most visible. Okay, so you can see something like this. This is good. You can tell primary, this is a primary button, this is not primary button. So some some of them probably is not easy. The size would be different. The size could be different, or hierarchy would be different from left to right, from top to bottom. All the layout matters as well. Consistency is also very important. So in this example, you can see this side of the icons not very consistency. Some of them are solid, some are smaller, some of them, using the icon like the circle icon. But compared to the consisting icon, you can see everything solid and it looks so, unified. So this is something we need. Okay. So from when we're using the icon, you know, sometimes people think the icon appear to be like the easiest part for the design process. I can see many of you trying using the icon, and a lot of designers they even regard them as actual, elements, even they are essential components of our you know, daily lives. So you can see a lot of the, mobile applications, they try using as many as they can, like the icons, trying um, to make a equivalence of the buttons. Okay, so make sure, okay, so make sure your icon is consistency and using the vector or SVG, the file. This is the simplest way to ensure your icon looks good on any device or solutions. All right. Low contrast. So you can see this is one profile setting, this is another profile setting. So you can see the difference, which one is better, which one is not, looks good. Obviously, you can tell it's from your right side. This is a, you know, very good one. People can tell the difference, can see the icon clearly, can understand this is something, the heading is right here, but right here it's not good, all right? So this is something we call the s- you know, contract. Contract is everything, right, in a visual composition. Okay, when a contract between your user interface elements is low, some such as this, the example, so which will result in a dumb and difficult, um, like to read the interface since everything looks the same, and you know, we consider bad UI design like this basically is equals like low usability. People don't want to use it. Okay, so you need to trying to guide the user's attention through your user interface using contracts. For calls to action using high contract color. All right. So there are some of the button they called is call to action button. So that means those button are very important and very useful for your application. Okay, so those buttons should be emphasized at same times. Those should pack all your convention power into one button. Everything about them, from color to copy, should be, the button should be stand out from the background. Okay, so compare this summit is not good example because it's not easy to stand out from the background and couldn't draw the user's attention. Okay, sometimes size matters. Some small size, a bigger size, it tell the primary or secondary as well. And you can see this is a better one. You can see this give you a bigger size and give you necessary information. You try for free, so free 90 days. This also, tell the people, yes, no free, no worry, you can just click. But try now. A lot of people are afraid to click because once I say try now, that means I subscribe something which I don't want it. Okay, so you can see try for free for 90 seconds. So this one also has a icon to tell you is go to next step. That means there's some next step variable. Unlock my 2017 report. There's a unlock button and the icons as well. To tell the people, okay, you can unlock. Okay, so this is very important, how strike the right balance, then there's no, bad UI design. Clickable, this type of the button should be like a whisper tickle rather than the scream for attention, right? Okay, so this is basically some of the a very good example for you guys to design your own, user interface, and make sure before you trying to design user interface, you write down your um, your scenarios and to make sure those scenarios are common, not like special or is really happened. Okay, so otherwise, this is for class today. Thank you, guys.